Texas is home to some amazing bats. There are more than 30 species here. While different and unique, these flying mammals face all kinds of threats.
We're at the McNeil Bridge in Round Rock. This is an I-35 bridge north of Austin. This is one of the largest urban bat colonies in the state.
A winter storm has hit this Mexican free-tailed bat colony especially hard. And biologist Nate Fuller is here to see how they're doing.
We're trying to understand what the impact of the cold storm was. I wouldn't hesitate to say that there are probably 10,000 dead bats in the area of this entire bridge. Are you okay? Oh, you poor thing. Some of the early migrants have come back because we've had such a warm winter, and this cold event got them off guard. They can't go out and forage. These bats are probably rather dehydrated. They're definitely starving. And so we think is happening here, we've got a pretty big die-off related to lack of food and water, rather than direct effects of the freeze.
Nate's job is to keep an eye on the bat populations around the state. In East Texas, inside some culverts, the rare tri-colored bat faces another challenge. Biologists are worried about a deadly fungal disease called white nose syndrome.
White nose syndrome is all over North America right now, and it is knocking on the door of lots of sensitive bat populations in Texas. If the fungus gets here to these sites in East Texas, we expect that the populations of tricolor bats will be wiped out by the disease.
To fight the fungus, they came up with a fungicide spraying,
Here you go.
culvert crawling contraption.
Push the wheels out.
And I can turn it on and turn it back off. So we have a custom-built remote control that allows us to remotely turn on and off our dispersal device, which we're going to push into the culvert and we're going to turn on remotely.
Yes, pretty good.
Which will then disperse the chemicals that should kill the fungus or at least suppress it from growing.
Yeah, so we spent a lot of time trying to figure out how to make this work. We had early ideas of running tubing down the culvert with vents on it so it would spray the whole way, and couldn't figure out how that would work. And we had all kinds of crazy ideas, and finally we came on this idea of a cart, and it seems to work pretty well.
This is a species that's one of the hardest hit by white nose syndrome. Within 2 years of the white nose fungus entering a culvert or a cave system, you can see up to a 99% decline in the population.
So the goal here is to protect these very sensitive species of bat from the disease before it gets here.
So what we're attempting here is a type of fumigation. This method we developed is a way that we can treat all of the bats at once. We can keep the bats where they are inside of the culvert, and we can disperse these chemicals in the air so we can treat at the colony level. It's looking good. 2 minutes, 20 seconds left.
The compound that we're spraying inside this roost doesn't affect the bats at all. It is strictly a fungicide. It kills the fungus and it prevents the fungus from growing. The bats are fine. The bats will survive this treatment just fine. The fungus will not, and thus won't cause white nose syndrome in the future.
The plan right now is to slow down the impact of the disease, give the bats some time to pass around resistance or some sort of tolerance to the fungus.
Our hope is that by keeping these populations healthy, we can provide a remnant population that will be protected from white nose syndrome for years to come, and maybe at some point be the source of repopulation for the rest of the region.
There's also a glimmer of hope back underneath that bridge.
Come on. Come on. These guys went through a challenge, but it looks like a good number of them made it through. I really think that, most of the population is still down south, so I'm hoping that when those come back, this is going to be a big, vibrant colony again.